Welcome to the channel. I'm the Scottish astrologer, and in this video I'm going to talk about the coming micro new moon in Aries and what this means in general and how it relates to what humanity is currently experiencing or is about to experience, and also the opportunity which this new moon can bring for us all. Now, as you can see on screen, we obviously have the moon in conjunction with the sun in the zodiac sign of Aries. Now, Aries is a highly spiritual sign and also a sign of action. It is the Godhead and it represents the self or the individual. Now, the sun exalts in the zodiac sign of Aries, which just means that the sun loves being here in this sign. Now, the sun is our individual spirits and heart's energy, as well as humanity's collectively. Now, the moon represents the people as a whole, as well as our individual souls, minds, and emotions. And we also have Mercury, who is in both detriment and in fall, as Mercury is in the zodiac sign of Pisces. And so Mercury really does not like being in the zodiac sign, and that's why he's in detriment and fall when in this sign, Now, Mercury is our thoughts and communications, which again is in quite a bad place right now, and is making a lot of people be in fear or scared. They're in panic or worry and generally anxious at this current time. Now, Mercury is not affecting the sun or moon at this moment. It's just the thoughts, of humanity are all obviously connected with Mercury, and so I had to talk about that at this moment in time of how they're in such a bad place. But actually there's quite a rare occurrence with the sun and the moon, as they are not being aspected, so energetically affected by any other planet whatsoever. They're basically standing alone, without any support of the other planets. And on individual natal charts, when we're looking at the moon, when the moon is in this situation, it shows, and it's a sign of true poverty, not just being poor as in financially poor, but extreme poverty, not having nothing, and then family, money, home, true poverty. And now, as obviously during a new moon, the sun is in conjunction with the moon, this means that both the sun and the moon are not being energetically affected by nothing else. And so this will truly heighten this sign of true poverty. And now, everything I just mentioned will obviously be related to the coronavirus and the effect it's having on everyone's lives currently. Now, the bread and the circuses, so to speak, are slowly being removed from the people with the food and supply shortages and the shutdown of mass gatherings and sporting events and just social events in general. And the people of the world are being locked down, country by country, and are being told more and more to just stay at home and to self-isolate. Now, this is obviously planned, in my opinion, to cover up for the food shortages themselves, as I have made clear in my previous video as well as other videos. But regardless, they are collapsing society, giving them the excuse to reset the system itself, their system, so they can keep in control of whatever the new one is. But this is including obviously the financial system, because this is the key to their whole control, the financial system. So they're collapsing that, while again we all just stay at home in either mandatory self-isolation, or for most people they are just too scared to go outside anymore anyway, in fear of getting this virus. Now, in my opinion, the new monetary system will be cashless, as of course they will say cash was the major spreading vehicle for this virus, again in my opinion. And so the majority of people will accept this, okay? This virus will also encourage a lot of people to get a chip, okay? Something like a chip where they don't need to touch things no more, okay? Something they can use like a credit card and like a key to open doors. And again, a lot of people will willingly get this technology. They will want this because they don't want to touch things too often anymore, especially something someone else has touched. They don't want to wash their hands every 24 hours a day. They've had enough of their doing that all the time, and it's going to come to a point for a lot of people where they would just prefer something that's totally contactless, okay, where they don't have to touch nothing. They can just hover their hand over things instead of touching. Now, don't be in any doubt, this virus is going to change the world, and there is no going back. Social change, monetary change, environmental change, and the list goes on. I've talked about it in many videos before about the year 2020 and everything which will happen, all the change which will happen. Like I said, social change, monetary change, environmental change, all kinds of change, technological change, the list goes on. And this will take place from the beginning to the end of the year 2020, and we'll move into 2021 and the age of Aquarius as a totally changed people. Okay, well, who's left of us at this rate, with how it's looking? But yeah, my long-time subscribers, they obviously have already seen all these videos, and now we're here, they know. It's like we're living in a movie, okay, if everyone's honest, this year 2020, with everything that's already going on, and is still to come, in my opinion. Now, please do not be scared with all this, just be prepared. The most important thing you can get used to doing right now is growing your own food anywhere which you can. And also, as communities, we need to come together and utilise all our skills, and we need to work together, growing food, etc. And as well, right now, we need to help anyone elderly, okay, who may not have family, who may be forced to isolate and not be able to get to the shops, or just needs help in general. So it's our job as a community and as their neighbours to, of course, help these people any which way that we can. That's for all of us. But again, yeah, we need to be growing food together as communities, because the food and the supply shortages are only going to get worse as time goes on. And so we need to take action, and we need to start producing the things which we all need for ourselves, ideally as a nation, but certainly as individuals and as communities, at the very least. Just in case, and on top of, if our leader, okay, of our individual countries doesn't step up their game and move to become a self-sufficient or near self-sufficient nation, if our leaders don't do that, we're screwed. So we can't just wait around and hope that our leaders are competent enough. We, as communities of people, need to provide for ourselves, or start to at the very least. Now, this new moon in Aries will trigger a great awakening of the human spirit like we have never seen. Brought on physically, in my opinion, by the vast majority of people away in self-isolation with no distractions, okay, only themselves and maybe families, okay, and they'll have fear in their hearts and minds with all the chaos and uncertainty, okay, that's going on. Now, some of these people will go within, they'll turn to God, they'll pray, they'll do a lot of soul searching, so to speak, and eventually, for some of them, they will find themselves and get right with God, and ultimately wake up. Now, granted, it'll all be out of fear for most of these people, but again, fear is one of the best motivators, so to speak. And a further chunk of humanity's eyes will now be opened, okay, as a result of this moment in time, which is a good thing, because once these eyes are open, there is no closing them again. Now, the powers that be are fully aware of what I just spoke of, and I believe they will try and counter this great awakening of the human spirit, or at least try to control it and guide it with some kind of event to spark even more fear among humanity. Okay, now this is a spiritual war we are all in, whether we like it or not, or are aware of it or not, and the gloves are now off. Now, as new moons are the time to put intentions out there to become fully manifest by the next full moon after it. So on the day of this new moon, everyone who is aware of this, and also who, especially those who have powerful wills, okay, and again are aware of this spiritual battle being waged against humanity, we all need to will and set our intentions towards humanity being protected from this spiritual onslaught, and for us to win and overcome, and for us all to work together in achieving this and achieving self-sufficiency as a people. And on top of this, that the powers that be who wish us all harm, okay, that they fail and they face true justice for their negative and unhumane actions against us all. Now, please do will this into reality. This is humanity's time to rise, but they, okay, the powers that be, are intending it to be our time to fall. Now, don't let it be. Don't let them win. Now, they cannot control or stop this great awakening of the human spirit. Again, they can only try and cause us to stay in perpetual fear. But if they fail, they have nothing and their power disappears. So, no matter what they throw at us next or what happens next, do not be scared, do not be in fear. Just be ready to come together and work together with others. But on an individual level, at the moment, you need to prepare any which way you can, as well as brushing up on or learning skill sets that will be of great value to you and to your community, okay, if things keep going in the trajectory which they currently are. Now, knowledge is of great value, especially the right knowledge which can feed, protect or advance, etc., our community. Now, I will be straight with everyone watching. If this virus plot succeeds, we are moving into a world of mass depopulation and near zero carbon emissions, because, of course, if they want near zero carbon emissions, they can't have 8 billion people emitting carbon. Okay, it can't happen in 10 years by 2030. So it's not going to work. So zero carbon emissions, which most nations have already committed to, involves a lot of people not being here anymore. So you have to be aware of that. And this virus seems to be moving the world towards this goal, towards this end. So keep your eyes open and be aware of this. But if this virus plot fails, okay, and this awakening of the human spirit sparks us all into united action physically and, of course, as a whole on a spiritual level, then we will enter the Aquarian age at the end of this year after the Great Conjunction. We'll enter this with a bright future ahead of us all, okay? One that does not involve mass depopulation and a continuation of the old order that has controlled us for thousands of years, and who obviously does not have our best interests at heart. Now, we have a chance this new moon, but enough of us need to again wake up and become spiritually strong to win the spiritual and physical battle being waged against us all. We can win, and I believe that we will win, okay, and truth, light and love will ultimately prevail. Now, the powers that be know that their time is nearly up, okay, at the end of 2020. And so this whole virus plot and whatever else they're about to pull out of their hat is their desperate last-ditch attempt to try and keep their control over whoever's left of us, obviously, if they get their way into the age of Aquarius. Now, don't let them achieve this. Now, moving on, Aries, okay, is ruled by the planet Mars, who is the god of war, whose name, okay, Mars's original name was Ares, A-R-E-S. So basically the same name as Aries. Now Mars is currently in Capricorn, where he is in exaltation. So on or around this date of the new moon, maybe when either World War III is declared, but a different kind of World War III than we're all expecting. This World War III will be against the coronavirus, and humanity, the people who, the powers that be basically, can have their weird kind of alien invasion, okay, in the form of this virus that unites humanity against one enemy that is killing all nationalities, an enemy that unites the world, okay, which of course is a covert basically war. This war will be a covert war against the people because we are the hosts for the coronavirus. So if a war is declared against coronavirus, it's obviously covertly against the people. Or it could very well be the usual kind of wars between nations that takes place on or around leading up to the full moon after this new moon, okay? I can't say for sure, but I feel one of these scenarios is bound to manifest around or after this new moon takes place, again leading up to the full moon after it. But again, please do not fear, because that is exactly what they want and need. Remember, fear is one of the greatest motivators. Love is also one. Love and fear are the two top motivators. Now, we are all motivated most primarily by, again, either fear or love. But this can be both towards either positive or negative ends. For example, fear can make you be prepared, which is positive, or it can make you do things you wouldn't normally do, and like giving up your rights, okay, if you think that that is the only way to make everything stop. So you see there's two ways which fear can lead you to a positive or negative destination, and that's the same with love. Now, the powers that be, they know this, okay, and they use this over and over again because, of course, they control every facet of our lives, whether we like to admit it or not. So just don't be in fear, no more, no matter what they throw at us. We truly are all in this together, and if the biggest percentage of humanity is in total fear, then that is not good for the rest of us. That is not good for humanity as a whole. So again, please, no matter how much they try and scare you and keep you in that fear frequency, just be strong, okay? Don't let any of it affect you. Just know fear is their only weapon. A weapon which, if used right, allows them to make people hurt other people and thus doing their dirty work for them. Now, don't get sucked into any of it, okay? We need to work together. And then, if we do this, they have nothing. Without fear and without division, they have nothing. So work together and don't be in fear. Work together in love, they have nothing. They spiritually have near on nothing left, okay? They are spiritually bankrupt. And so, here in the physical world, they are trying and are currently succeeding in physically bankrupting humanity, all of us. Now, we, of course, live in a universe of opposites, so it's clear to me, if they are physically bankrupt, okay, physically bankrupting humanity, then they themselves are, of course, spiritually bankrupt. We are winning, and they now need our permission to remain in control, so please don't give it to them. If the biggest percent, over 50% of humanity, gives them this permission, then it's over for all of humanity, because we are one in the end. Okay folks, I think I went on enough for this video. Please, a huge thanks for watching first of all. Please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell at the right hand side of the subscribe button. Until next time, take care and please do prepare.